Hey everybody, good afternoon. My name is Dustin Strong, holistic nutritionist, and this is our Ask Me Anything hour. So we are answering questions that people have brought to us over the week and talking about a few discoveries that we have found to help people keep people healthy as possible. I want to start out because it's Halloween's coming and people are going to be getting candy to give out to kids. And I want to let you know, we've talked about this a lot, but Rip Van Wafels, I am not endorsed by them at all. In fact, we purchased all these products to put them in our Strong on Health box this month. So just so you know, the reason I want to talk about them is because of the content of what's in them. There is 1 gram of sugar, 2 grams of fiber, and they actually taste good. So if you are local to the Mansfield area and you want to come by and try these out, we have some samples left. I think it's really important to give options to kids that are tasty, that aren't going to blow their sugar out of the water. So there are 3 great flavors. There's the Snickerdoodle, there is the Dutch Caramel and Vanilla, and Cookies and Cream, and everybody has enjoyed them so much. I don't eat a lot of them because, of course, I try not to eat sugar at all, but everybody who has eaten them has had great reports. So please consider options while you're out there getting the Halloween candy. And I know it's a very exciting time and everybody has these old childhood memories of their favorite candies, and I totally get that and I want to support that. But I do also want to encourage you to include in there some new options and things that can be also a reward and a treat for children, but that are not going to be as damaging to their little blood sugar balancing. Okay, so that's that. We've got a question about low blood pressure, actually. So the question was, this individual has low blood pressure, like 105/40. And they say this person's healthy, they don't take any meds, 73 years old, and just wants to know if there's anything we can do. So when I'm thinking about low blood pressure, there are a few things that come to mind. Number 1, and they actually ask about a standard processed product, and that's interesting because vitamin B can be very important to the tone of the muscle. But one of the things that actually is a point of differentiation why you use a whole food nutrient like standard processed is because vitamin B4 is one that people don't even know about. They've not been told about it. It's not something that can be chemically recreated in a lab. It has to come from a whole food source. And that vitamin is one of the most important aspects of muscle tone. So that can be something that people have been missing for a very long time that contribute to low blood pressure because they don't have the muscle tone. The other things to think about though is hydration. Hydration. Most of the time when somebody is checking into an emergency situation at a hospital and they're an older person, it's due to dehydration. So I would be making sure that the person is getting plenty of not only liquids but electrolytes in those liquids so that they can be hydrated really well. And a little more exercise. Of course, exercise is going to help to be able to increase that muscle tone as well. So that can be something that we tend to skip out on as we get older, so keep the exercise going. Now, a final point on that with low blood pressure is it depends on, is it something that you're experiencing or that person experiencing when they're going from sitting down to standing up or when they're laying down to standing up. Now, that is common, and that can have something to do with your adrenal glands getting a little too tired. They can't respond as quickly as they would have or could have in the past, and so your body can't keep that blood pressure maintained in that change of position. So if that's the case, talk to somebody who's a qualified healthcare professional about possible adrenal weakness and the things that you can do to strengthen that. So there's some thoughts on blood pressure for you. Question we have about essential oils such as ginger and or peppermint to help with stomach upset or yucky feelings. Does that stop stomach acid in your stomach? So great question, and it's 2 separate questions actually, because ginger, if you have read the book, Why Stomach Acid is Good for You, which I encourage every human being to read because we all have stomach acid and stomachs. What's up, Teddy? Ginger, Carrie Bone is actually cited in this book. And Carrie Bone, I don't know if you know, he is probably the smartest herbalist on the planet. He created MediHerb. So from Australia, where they regulate herbs, he's a professor and one of the smartest people I know. And he talks about how ginger can actually be something to help with digestion. It will work with digestion in a way that will help stimulate and get your stomach going. So ginger could be very helpful, but peppermint, on the other hand, if you have read the book, page 136 lists different things that can weaken the lower esophageal sphincter. And peppermint, especially peppermint, it says, can be one of those. So although peppermint has a lot of value, if you are someone who's struggling with acid indigestion, read the book and see that maybe peppermint might be something you might want to keep out of the equation for a little while to make sure that that isn't contributing to the problem. We have another question about tips on fasting. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I did make a video about fasting, and I kind of went through all of the info on it. But if I'm going to give you some quick tips on fasting, a very important one would be to, before you go into your fast, really load up on good, healthy foods like raw nuts and seeds, some walnuts, some salmon, because if you're eating high carbs and not getting fat or fiber, that ghrellin's going to come back quicker and you're going to be hungrier faster. Same thing goes for when you, at night, before you go to bed. If you're going to eat a high carb meal, you're going to wind up waking up a lot hungrier in the morning. So before you go into the fast, a really good tip is to make sure you have good healthy fats and fiber. That'll help sustain you and keep you from getting hangry or having too high ghrelin. But also make sure that you're hydrating through the entire thing. Hydration with electrolytes is going to be really important throughout any type of a fast. And third, take your time getting into it. Don't jump straight into a 24-hour fast. Make sure that you're starting out somewhere like around a 12-hour, maybe extend it to 14 until you feel comfortable and confident that you have all the nutrients that you need to get through it. Okay, three more things actually. We had a quick story of a gentleman who came in and he was struggling with a lot of muscle pain. He was sent by a local chiropractor, and what we found out is we looked at some of his medications and that it was listed number 1 as one of these side effects. And it was really kind of shocking for him to make that relationship, and he was worried because he didn't want to talk to his doctor about a medicine that he thinks that he really has to have because it's causing him pain. So my whole takeaway for that is, if you're experiencing something unusual or pain, look at the side effects and talk to your doctor. That's what you're supposed to do. And it's really upon you to make sure that you know what the side effects are so that you can be paying attention to that. So anytime you're on any medication, read the side effects, and if it winds up being something that you're experiencing, talk to your doctor right away. That's what they're there for, to talk about that. Okay, almost last thing. Awesome company, Iron Hero Organics, brought in their kombucha, and as you'll see, it's almost gone because we opened it and everybody who tasted it loved it. And so it's actually a wonderful find, 0 sugar. And in fact, the comment was made, what's in this? Because it tastes so great, because there's so little things that are added to it. So a fantastic find. I really hope that they're going to be around here locally. We'll put in a link about that below. And finally, we have a really good friend in LA of Strong on Health, Kirsten McCormick, Cheerfully, Imperfect. And she has been helping us out with a lot of different information. She wants everybody to know that she is offering a class on elderberries and keeping your immune system strong, coming up on the 18th, and I'll put a link below. If you guys are interested in learning more about an elderberry, I think juice possibly. Elderberry is a great food, and I'm sure there's some other wonderful information she'll provide at that as well. Okay guys, keep the questions coming. If there are any questions in there, or if you type them in now, we will pull them out and answer them on Tuesday for our next Ask Me Anything. And we actually have a huge announcement coming up on Tuesday. I cannot wait to tell you all about it. But in the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.